Guru Nation, thank you guys so much for following. I know you stock, you biotech stock people, you've been requesting this one, Vikings Therapeutic, VKTX, Viking Therapeutics, for a while. And they've got phase 2B results coming out any day now for their NASH study. And there's a couple things I wanted to share with you. So, one of the things is, and let me show you first the clinicaltrials.gov study, phase 2B, randomized double blind placebo controlled. Estimated primary completion date December 2021, estimated study completion date 2022, but they can do the top line results. And it's probably, I mean, I don't own this stock, guys. It's probably going to be favorable results because I'm going to show you their presentation. But let's take a bird's eye view. This is a $368 million market cap, very small market cap stock. Right now it's trading at $4.70. So it went down today, 464. I think it's the last trading day of the year. So Eileen Schneider, the writer, shout out to her. She wrote about it here. Analysts anticipate future growth of biopharm company. Viking Therapeutics describes itself as clinical stage biopharmaceutical company focused on development of novel, orally available first-in-class or best-in-class therapies for the treatment of metabolic and endocrine disorders. It has a pipeline of drug candidates to treat these conditions. Viking's research and development activities leverage its expertise in metabolism to develop innovative therapeutics designed to improve patients' lives. The company's clinical programs include VK2809. This is the one where the phase 2B, which is currently being evaluated for the treatment of biopsy confirmed non alcoholic steatohepatitis, NASH, and fibrosis. In the phase 2 trial for the treatment of non alcoholic fatty. So in the phase 2A trial, it demonstrated statistically significant reduction in the bad cholesterol LDLC. I'm going to show you from the company's own website, their own presentation, like some of the advantages of this. In November 2019, Viking began this study. It's like I showed you, it's ending. It enrolled 337 patients with biopsy confirmed. This is not an easy study to do. Let's see if we can find the study sites. This is not easy, nor is it cheap. 106 sites. So Nananuma, okay, that's where I'm at. This could potentially be a study I can bring here, a study like this in the future. So this is not easy, not cheap. And VK2809 has been evaluated in 8 completed clinical studies. No SAEs or SAEs have been observed in patients in these completed studies. Overall tolerability remains encouraging. The company also has VK0214, a novel orally available small molecule thyroid hormone receptor beta agonist for the treatment of X-linked adrenoleukodystrophy, XALD. This is a rare disease. They got orphan, fast track status. So let's go to. They actually have. Eileen did a good job here. In September, Viking began the phase 1 single ascending dose for VK0214. In June, the company announced the results. The first portion of the study evaluated single doses. No SAEs were reported. No treatment of dose-related trends were obtained, and there was also evidence, according to their corporate presentation, for some positive effects on the liver LDL. Viking's other programs include VK5211, an orally available non-steroidal selective androgen receptor modulator in phase 2 trial in patients recovering from hip fracture. Patients who received VK5211 experienced significant improvements in measures of lean body mass. So look, let's go to the presentation. I want to keep this 10 minutes or so. So these are the 2 drugs that we discussed. There's a third one too, but that's the musculoskeletal one. But let's look at these 2, especially this one for NASH. It's the one with the phase 2B results coming up right now. Novel selective thyroid receptor agonist. So here's why that's important. There's 2 main types of thyroid hormone receptors. There's thyroid hormone receptor alpha, which is in the negative effects are elevated heart rate, bone cardiac effects. There's thyroid hormone receptor beta, which is liver, and that has the positive effects of regulating lipid metabolism. So what you want to do with these drugs is enhance the thyroid hormone receptor beta. That's why it's an agonist. It works with the receptor to achieve a desired result. So beta receptor, key role in lipid metabolism, systemic and liver specific effects. Here's NASH progression. Accumulation of fatty acids, triglycerides, it's usually from obesity, type 2 diabetes, non-alcoholic, oxidative stress, inflammatory response, and then you get NASH, where you get liver damage. It's very bad. In vivo evidence suggests beta receptor activation provides anti-fibrotic benefits. Clinical data indicate correlation between reduced liver fat and improvement in NASH. An agent that reduces liver fat, improves systemic lipids, and antagonizes fibrotic signaling could provide multi-pronged benefits in NASH. And this is their unique liver-targeted characteristics. Selective activation, differentiated chemistry, lends VK2809 liver selectivity potentially minimizes risk of systemic effects. We've seen in the phase 1 and the phase 2A minimal safety issues. Evaluation in biopsy confirmed diet-induced NASH model, VK2809 dosed once daily for 8 weeks. It improves fibrosis in diet-induced NASH module. And here, this is the 2A trial. Let's go to the results. Significantly reduced the bad cholesterol after 12 weeks. Produced significant relative reductions in liver fat. And the cohorts demonstrated high relative response rates. Up to 100% of the patients dosed experienced response as defined by a greater than 30% decrease in liver fat at week 12. Combined cohorts demonstrated 88% response rate, and then 70%, so this is the ones with placebo and VK2809, and then 70% of all patients receiving VK2809 demonstrated liver fat reductions greater than 50%. Consistent week 12 MRI PDFF reductions across key subsets. I don't even know what PDFF is, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Phase 2 summary and conclusions. VK2809 produced robust reduction in liver fat on MRI after 12 weeks of dosing. 88% of patients receiving the study drug experienced greater than 30% reduction. 70% experienced reduction of greater than 50%. Elevated ALT, BMI, hypertension, Hispanic ethnicity. These are consistent effects observed across common NASH risk factors. This would have been Yuma, Arizona, where I live, would have been a great place to do this study. Liver fat reduction maintained 4 weeks post-dosing. 70% of VK2809 remained responders 28 days after conclusion of dosing. So now we have the Voyage, the phase 2B study, which is ending. It started in 2019. It ended. We should expect top-line results any day now. The entire study is not going to be done until December of 2022, at which point they're probably going to submit to the FDA and look for a phase 3 study. So we're still a ways away from this being approved, but the next catalyst is going to be I think the positive results from the phase 2B, but anything can happen. But look, about this time last year, early in the year, the high was $9.67. Right now it's at $4.64. So next catalyst coming up. I don't own this stock. It could move. Here's the competitive advantage. There are currently more than 40 NASH programs in phase 2 or 3 development. I'm in clinical research. I see NASH studies happening all the time. Absolutely all the time. I see NASH studies happening, and I'm going to get one of these studies, but the liver biopsy is kind of tough to do. You need a center and the hospital. Long story. I don't want to bore you with that. What differentiates VK2809 from the crowd? Orally available, so preferred route of administration for chronic therapy, liver targeted, reduces risk of undesired effects in other tissues. This is important, especially the thyroid receptor alpha. Weight loss, reduced liver fat, correlate with NASH resolution, improve fibrosis markers, bodes well for long-term benefits, reduces systemic lipids, may improve overall metabolic profile, and they can potentially do a lot of good stuff with this. There's a lot of issues with obesity in this country. No GI impact, no pruritus or other tolerability issues to date. If that's not enough, they have a rare disease program, VK0214 X-linked adrenoleukodystrophy. So, orphan neurodegenerative disorder carried by the X-linked, carried by females, primary manifesting in males. No cure, no approved therapy. Most severe form is cerebral ALD, rapidly progressive inflammatory demyelination. Affects 35% before age 12, 20% between age 20 to 35. Deterioration in speech, cognitive, vegetative state. This is a serious condition. Most common form is adrenomyeloneuropathy, affects spinal cord. So it looks like demyelination. Myelin is what wraps around the neurons in between synapses, I guess, or at the synapses. Um, it also affects. There's issues in multiple sclerosis. I'm no physician with myelin as well. No inflammatory component or brain involvement. Affects nearly all adult patients. Considered the default manifestation of ALD. Progressive motor impairment. Proof of concept. They did it in animal and mice. They did a phase 1 single ascending dose, multiple ascending dose study design. Reduction in LDL-C similar to observations with the other drug we mentioned. It's not surprising. Initial effect appears to plateau at approximately 20% reduction from baseline. Triglyceride reduction mirrors reported efficacy from the thyroid receptor beta agonist. Onset likely between 10 milligram to 25 milligrams. Phase 1 study in healthy volunteers demonstrated lipid lowering effects. Phase 1b proof of concept study in patients with XALD underway. That's very important because we got to see the efficacy. It's one thing for it to work in healthy volunteers, lowering lipid. It's another thing to see proof of concept in XALD. They've received orphan drug status from the FDA. FDA loves these kind of drugs. This is early. It's early. So what we have, guys, it's been getting bashed here in the fourth quarter of 2021, just like every other biotech. But those next positive results should give it a little boost. I don't own any. I think it's not a dangerous bet to get some of this. I unfortunately have all my cash tied into other biotechs right now. Otherwise, I might put a little something into this because that catalyst coming up with the phase 2b results looks promising. And I like the rare orphan designation. But this is a long-term play. You might see a short pop from the phase 2b results. But if you're going to buy this, this is a long-term hold. And that's what the community seems to be saying too. And on StockTwits, I've been going on StockTwits. The community on there seems to be patient, and there's not much known. Like you don't hear too much about this stock, so I think the next thing we got to check is if there's a lot of institutional ownership. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Take care. Bye bye.